Good morning. So today we're going to be covering lesson 91, and it's substituting values in, but some of the numbers can be negative, so that's what's new about it. So we start out with x minus x, y minus y, and I always write off to the side here that x is equal to negative 2, and y is equal to negative 3, so I have to be super careful. So literally, instead of writing x, I'm going to put in negative 2. Bring down the minus, and then again put in for x, negative 2. And then put in for y, negative 3. Minus a negative 3. And honestly, in situations like this, more parentheses is better than less. We can always simplify and get rid of them. But if we don't put them in parentheses, it's easy to make a sign error. So, all right, so this minus 2 can just come down as negative 2. And this is negative times negative is positive times negative is negative. 2 times 3 is 6. And then negative times negative, or the opposite of negative, is plus 3. So what do we get there? Minus 2 minus 6 is minus 8. And then add plus 3 to it, so we have to subtract. 8 minus 3 is 5, and we keep the sign on the bigger number. That's the bigger number, so the answer is going to be negative 5. Okay, now let's look over on page 623. It says simplify. Looks similar to what we just did, but okay, so this one just has numbers. Plus 3 times negative 2, and then minus 2 times positive 4. Okay, so we've got to remember the rules for multiplying sign numbers. Remember, like signs are positive and unlike signs are negative. So this is just one sign, just bring it down. And then bring down, this is positive 3 times negative 2. Remember, the sign that's in front of the number goes with it. So a positive times a negative is a negative, and 3 times 2 is 6. When we move over here, a negative times a positive is a negative. 2 times 4 is 8. Okay, now then we switch gears and we're adding now because all the multiplication is done. So every one of these numbers is negative. So if they're all the same sign, we add and we keep the sign. So 2 and 6 is 8, and 8 and 8 is 16, and it was negative, so the answer is negative. All right, let's skip down and do letter C on the practice. It says minus 3 plus 4 minus 5 minus 2. And there's no multiplication in here at all, so this is simply addition of signed numbers. So we'll use the rule that says if the signs are the same, like signs, you add and keep the sign. So I'm going to just rewrite this. It makes it a little easier to look at. Negative 3 minus 5 minus 2, and then I'll write the plus 4 off to the side. Because these are all negatives. So we can add those, and the answer to that will remain negative. So 3 and 5 is 8, plus 2 is 10, and it was negative, so that's negative 10. And now we have negative 10 plus 4. So those are unlike signs. Remember, if the signs are unlike or they're not the same, we subtract, and we keep the sign on the larger number. So negative 10 plus 4, subtract, that would be 6, and the sign on the bigger number was negative, so our answer is going to remain negative. All right, let's try Another one of those. Letter E. -2, and it has a -3 here. Those are multiplied, and then minus 5 times 2, and then plus 3 times -4. So the way the book showed you was to break it up into sections. It's fine, but I think if you look at it, you can see the sections. It's that multiplication, and that multiplication. And then we'll just add the result. So -3 times -2 is +6. -5 times +2 is -10. And +3 times -4 is -12. All right, so these are kind of written together the way we want to look at them because the two negatives are there together. Like signs we add. So both negatives we add, that's 22, and we keep the sign. So now we have a +6 minus 22. Unlike signs, subtract, okay? 22 minus 6 is 16, and you take the sign on the larger number would be negative. Okay, so when we multiply or divide, positive times positive is positive. Positive times negative is negative. Negative times positive is negative. Or negative times negative is positive. Same rule for division. Positive divided by positive is positive. Positive divided by negative is negative. Negative divided by positive is negative. And negative divided by negative is positive. That's for multiplication or division. Oops. For adding, just remember like signs, add, and keep the sign. Unlike signs, subtract, and take the sign of the larger number. So this would be like positive and positive. A positive plus a positive. Or a negative plus a negative. Unlike would be a positive added to a negative, or a negative added to a positive. All right. So I need you to email me to this email address. I don't like that. Don't like that at all. Principal at All Saints Roswell.com. Okay, so make sure and email me that message. And I will see you tomorrow.